Did you know there are nearly 2 billion Muslims around the world? That's almost a quarter of the entire global population. Yet for so many people, the word Islam brings up images of conflict and extremism, often fueled by what we see in the media. But what if I told you that the reality is vastly different? What if the true essence of this major world religion is something completely misunderstood by many? Well, today I'm on a mission. I'm going to spend the day diving deep into the core teachings of Islam to uncover what it is really all about. Stick with me as we separate fact from fiction and explore the heart of a faith followed by billions. Let's be honest, when you hear about Islam on the news, it's rarely in a positive light. The constant association with terrorism and oppression has painted a picture that's not only inaccurate, but also incredibly damaging. It creates a culture of fear and us versus them, which prevents meaningful conversations and builds walls between communities. These stereotypes are powerful, and they make it easy to forget that we read talking about a religion that guides the daily lives of everyday people, our neighbors, colleagues, and friends. The challenge for us, then, is to look past these headlines and sensationalism. Can we find the truth buried under layers of misunderstanding? That's the journey we're embarking on today. I want to understand what a regular Muslim believes, what values they hold dear, and how their faith truly guides them. To get to the heart of Islam, we have to start with its foundational principles. At the core are the 5 pillars, which are the essential acts of worship that shape a Muslim's life. First is the Shahada, the declaration of faith. It's a simple but profound statement. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. This affirms the oneness of God, known in Arabic as Allah, and acknowledges the prophethood of Muhammad. It's the entry point into the faith. Next is Salah, the ritual prayer performed 5 times a day. Facing towards the Kaaba in Mecca, Muslims connect directly with God. It's a moment of peace, gratitude, and reflection, a constant reminder of their faith throughout the day. It's not just a routine, it's a spiritual reset. Then there's Zakat, the obligatory charity. Muslims are required to give a portion of their wealth, typically 2.5%, to those in need. This isn't just about giving money. It's a way to purify one's wealth and ensure that society's most vulnerable are cared for. It's a built-in system of social justice, emphasizing that everything we have is a trust from God meant to be shared. The 4th pillar is Sawm, the fasting during the holy month of Ramadan. From dawn until dusk, Muslims abstain from food, drink, and other physical needs. But it's about more than just hunger. It's a time for spiritual discipline, self-reflection, empathy for the poor, and strengthening one's relationship with God. It's a communal experience that fosters patience and gratitude. Finally, there's the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. Every Muslim who is physically and financially able is expected to make this journey at least once in their lifetime. Millions of people from every corner of the globe, dressed in simple white garments, come together as equals before God. It's a powerful symbol of unity and devotion, stripping away all distinctions of race, wealth, and status. These 5 pillars form the framework of a Muslim's life, guiding their actions and strengthening their connection to God and their community. Now, you can't talk about Islam without talking about the Quran. For Muslims, the Quran isn't just a holy book. It's the literal word of God, revealed to the Prophet Muhammad over 23 years. It's the ultimate guide for how to live a moral, just, and compassionate life. When you actually open it, you might be surprised by what you find. A recurring theme throughout the Quran is the call for peace, justice, and mercy. For instance, one famous verse says, "O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives." This demands a level of integrity that transcends personal bias. The Quran is filled with stories of prophets who are also revered in Judaism and Christianity, like Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, highlighting a shared heritage among these Abrahamic faiths. It constantly reminds believers to be kind to their parents, to care for orphans and the poor, to be honest in business, and to be good neighbors. It speaks about the diversity of humanity, different languages and colors, not as a source of conflict, but as a sign of God's creation, so that we may get to know one another. The message is one of universal brotherhood. The extreme interpretations you hear about are just that, extreme. They often take verses out of context to justify their own agendas, which is something mainstream scholars and the vast majority of Muslims around the world reject completely. To truly understand a faith, you have to look at the stories that its followers cherish. One of the most powerful examples from the life of the Prophet Muhammad is the story of his return to Mecca. After years of persecution, he and his followers had been forced to flee the city. When they finally returned, victorious and with a large army, the people of Mecca, who had once tortured and driven them out, were terrified, expecting retribution. But what did the Prophet do? He gathered them and asked, "What do you think I will do to you?" They replied, "You are a noble brother, the son of a noble brother." And he responded with the words of the Prophet Joseph from the Quran, "There is no blame upon you today. May God forgive you, and he is the most merciful of the merciful." He granted them all a general amnesty. This moment is so crucial. Instead of revenge, he chose forgiveness. Instead of bloodshed, he chose peace and reconciliation. This act of profound mercy became a cornerstone of Islamic teachings on forgiveness and leadership. It demonstrates that true strength lies not in the ability to punish, but in the capacity to forgive. This story encapsulates the core message of Islam far more than any headline about extremism ever could. It's about responding to hatred with compassion, to injustice with justice, and to fear with peace. It shows that the goal isn't conquest, but winning hearts through mercy and integrity. This is the example that billions of Muslims strive to follow in their daily lives. It's a powerful reminder that, at its heart, the faith is built on a foundation of compassion. So after a full day of diving into the teachings of Islam, what's the takeaway? It's clear that the popular image of Islam is often a distorted caricature. The reality is a faith centered on the idea of one God and a life guided by principles of prayer, charity, self-discipline, and community. The Quran, far from being a manual for violence, is a guide for ethical living, emphasizing justice, compassion, and respect for all of humanity. And the life of the Prophet Muhammad provides a powerful example of forgiveness and peaceful leadership. Of course, like any religion, its followers are human and imperfect, and its teachings can be twisted. But the core essence, the one that inspires nearly 2 billion people, is a message of peace, social justice, and a deep, personal connection with the Creator. It's about striving to be a better person and building a better, more compassionate world. Islam is not a monolith. It's a diverse global faith with a rich history and a profound spiritual tradition that deserves to be understood on its own terms, not through the distorted lens of fear and prejudice. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of discovery today. I hope it's been as eye-opening for you as it has been for me. What are your thoughts? Have you had experiences that challenge the common stereotypes about Islam? I'd love to read them, so please share them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more content like this. Up next, we'll be exploring the fascinating world of interfaith dialogue, so I'll see you in the next video.